Welcome back, and we're kick-starting our Thursday morning talking about an upcoming concert that we know everybody's looking forward to. We are joined by Frankie Reneau, who needs very little introduction. He's back home for September, as he typically does. And we'll be talking about Motown, Timeless Motown Memories 2. We're also joined by Karen Vernon, who is the theater manager at the Bliss Center for the Performing Arts, and Nicole Craig, who's one of the artists. Good morning and welcome.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Are we okay? Just wondering for a second. Do I have to sing it to you?
Yeah, sing it.
Don't want that. The rain stopped. So let's just start off, Frankie, and tell us. I always ask this question, and there's always an interesting answer about making your decision as to what you will bring to the stage for us at home every September.
Easy. Before I left last year, I had already decided that I wanted more of the same. Mainly because we hadn't really exhausted the repertoire. It's vast, so we could have Motown 5 if we kept to that. But no, I felt some of the major artists like Smokey Robinson, who I was informed I should have had in the last one, were the originators of that style of music and things. So I decided to have him in it. And then Michael Jackson, of course, who I always wanted, but it's very difficult to find an artist that will satisfy, you know, that sort of height of quality. But we managed to get someone, so I'm quite excited because I think he is a good talent and he could go far.
I hear there's an inspiring story about that selection. Could you share that story?
Let's get the backstory there.
Miss Karen can tell you that.
we were looking because, you know, he said, I want Michael Jackson, and specifically Ben. And you know that's very difficult.
Yeah.
Michael was maybe 14 when he signed that. So, you know, we were thinking and we're going through all kind of names and artists, and someone gave us an idea that this young man was on KTV. He was a KTV reject, actually. And I called him for an audition, and Frankie just loved him. And he's been rehearsing, and he's doing an amazing job. So that's the story behind Michael Jackson and hearing Ben in Timeless Motown Memories too.
Of course, Ben is not the best song that Michael Jackson sang.
Yeah,
but I wanted that particular song. It's quite simple and a little corny, we would say in England. But it's a very effective song, and it's amazing for someone to sing that. And this young man reaches all these high, very, very high notes. Dangerously high, I might say.
And he's a character. So,
So that means
he's
full
performer.
performance.
Exactly.
Love it. Now, this is always an interesting collaboration because a lot of the groundwork for the show takes place before you even get here, and that's where the collaboration with Niche and the artist is most important. Karen, tell me about it from your end.
Well, as Frankie said, like before he left last year, he decided we're going to do Motown and another sequel. We call it the sequel, and we have Rajani who collaborates with the vocalists, and we have Carlos who deals with the band. So you know, I put Frankie directly in touch with them. You know, I stay out of this. And he send the music, you know, and they start rehearsing. I think when did you all start rehearsing, Nicole? Very early. Yeah. So you know, they've been rehearsing and they sound amazing, and I've peeped in a couple of rehearsals. And,
you know, no knock to the classics. I was listening to a show on a particular radio station, and they were going through memories and going through some of the classic singers. So like Zoila and Sam. And like, but Motown represents a renaissance of music for singing. But in Belize, we seem to be going through a renaissance itself. We just came through a very competitive KTV remix season where the talent was through the roof. How fortunate are we to be able to put these two things together at a time when Belize probably needs it? You know, this is a time when we're going through some challenges, looking forward next year to some challenges as to who we are as a country in the referendum. But to be able to celebrate this time with Motown and a renaissance, how good is that to be able to pull off?
I think it's a marvelous idea, even though it was my idea to do the Motown.
No bias.
Because, I mean, it's a taste of nostalgia, and actually nostalgia for us older ones, but the young people have never even, some of them haven't even heard it.
Yeah.
You say some names to them and they don't know who you're talking about.
Yeah.
You say Motown and they're like, what?
Yeah,
What's
that's
that?
happening in KTV. Like,
Every year, yeah.
All the time. So I think, well, personally, as a classical music artist, I am always playing what is commonly described as dead people's music. Because I play things from 1600 and something, you know, nobody thinks about that. But so I have a whole idea of history when I play music, and each things you play from different styles of music has to be played differently. I wasn't born in those times, so I have to learn about how things would have been interpreted in those days. So my whole progress as a musician embodies many styles of music from different ages, and that's what I like. I like to, I have my own personal favorites. I'm more of a romantic player. The classical disciplines are the things that make my romantic playing better. So all that adds up. So personally, Motown for me is one time of my life, because I lived through that, of course, as many of us, well, some of us would have done.
I don't think Karen acknowledged. Out of sheer
I didn't look at you.
Out of sheer curiosity,
Yes.
though, who's a modern artist or musician that you like following now?
Oh, you mean popular?
Yeah. Modern, popular.
I hardly ever listen to
yeah. I was
music.
telling him
I
about
teach
Maxi
music
Priest
all
and
day. Yeah.
Maxi Priest,
I
that's
tell
not
him,
even
and
that
Maxi
modern.
Priest lives where in the same place he lives, and he was like,
Yeah,
and
but-
then when I had him listen to the music, he knew the music, but he
Yes.
doesn't know the artist.
I always know the music, but I don't dwell on names unless
interesting.
it's something that's really so striking.
Okay.
I can't get them out of my head. Then I find out more about it. But I'm very bad at names, and as you get older, you forget them more easily.
You focus on the music. That's
Yeah.
that's your passion.
Yeah.
But where you have been working quite a lot with modern and new artists is in Belize. We
Yeah.
have quite a number of up-and-coming artists that have participated in your show, and you still hold on to some of the people that have been
yes.
iconic all over your career.
Yeah, I like what I know. If you like what I
Yeah.
know.
Yeah.
And of course, if I was living here, it'd be much easier to listen and to have auditions and things. But I have to fly in and start work immediately. So I like to have something on the ground that's reliable. If I
Yeah.
don't know. But no, you're quite right. And having these two young people who turned up mainly because we had some absentees, and I said to the guy, well, we need some people to sing. And she offered these ideas.
Yeah.
And strangely enough, they both worked.
Yeah, the other young man was from the National Festival of Arts.
Okay.
He performed in the high school section.
Okay.
And, I wrote down their names because I thought they were amazing.
Uh-huh.
And they came for audition, and Frankie loved them. So.
That was very kindly. I have
And
to
we
say.
also have Jael performing in the show, and Jackie Castillo.
Yes.
Yeah,
And you
apart from the
still,
regulars.
we always hear from Jenny, and she says, Frankie doesn't want me to come out to the show. From Mass and Blues to today.
Yeah, right.
Yeah,
too.
she's been a stalwart. I mean, she's been there like me forever.
I want to bring it over to Nicole, though, and really just hear, we've seen you communicating and being able to talk about the show, but obviously there's a passion that you have in being a part of this particular show. Why is that?
I think for me, it starts with, I think the bond I share with the other singers. We are all very passionate and all very talented, and it's an opportunity for me, one of the very few opportunities that I get to spend so much time and to work with people who have that same passion and interest. And I think it continues to inspire us and encourage us to want to do more and to kind of show people after us that you can do it. We have to pass the baton one day, and I think it's a great light to shed out there that, hey, this is possible, you can do this too. I think we all really look forward to this show because of the joy it brings people too. I've been getting requests from the day Motown ended last year, when are the next show? I've been requests, send me the flyer as you get the flyer and emails. People are very interested. I think that also motivates us to keep going. It makes me happy to be a part
What's
of
the
it.
difference between preparing for any other presentation that you'll do versus preparing to go on stage for Frankie?
This is a big show in terms of the live band. I do other shows, and they're on different levels in terms of the kind of band we have, the kind of music we're presenting. For this show, I think this encompasses a lot apart from the live band, we have the live vocalist. We have even some dancing. They will make me wear real shoes this year. I think that I have to bring a lot more.
Yeah.
It takes a lot more time to get ready.
Yeah. And he's also notoriously a perfectionist.
I don't think he tries to be funny, but through his like direction and trying to get us to sound right, we actually laugh a lot. Because it's very funny when he's directing us, like, don't do that. But it's very, very funny. But yes, he really does push us to sound our best, look our best. Yeah. And in the end, we all shine, and it's thanks to him and thanks to his direction.
And that was where I was going, because, you know, you got the tracks a bit early, we're practicing a bit early with somebody else. But,
Yes.
what was the transition like when Frankie came in and probably threw everything out the window? Start all over again.
Well, we got some things first. We got the songs we would be singing first, who would be accompanying who, and the songs we chose, the ones we want to do some dance moves to. So we started off with that. We started off with our choreography, and so we sat at my house a couple days just watching random YouTube videos of those ladies in their times and in their matching dresses, and so we decided we like that move, we like that move, and so we just put things together, and that's where we started. And then the vocals started once he got here. We got our phones out and recorded our little parts and started to learn.
You're a younger person
I try to be.
than them, but we are. Yes.
I don't know where we're going with this.
Let's hear it.
But you know, what do you think about Motown is connectable or connects to some of the millennials and the persons your age that we also, well, them, I still sue myself again, that would appeal to them in their age?
I think they're timeless, to be honest.
That's the word right there.
That I just listen to it even before, I'm about to be 30 this year, but even before that.
Shouldn't have done that.
I shouldn't have done that? Oh my. Even before that, I always had a great appreciation for that sound. And I think that us coming into this show, we have to bring our own, we have to bring who we are, but at the same time stay true to do, like, pay that right homage, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So we are trying our best to make sure that we can pay our respects to these great singers, but I definitely feel that because they're so timeless, they connect with everybody, and it makes it easy for us as artists to reflect that in our performance.
Now, how do you put the Frankie stamp on it? I mean, you want them to sound like the original artist, but
To some degree, yes.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously, that's not something I encourage to try and copy people. I'm not really for that. But I talk about expression and presenting your thing. People's voices are all different. Nobody will sound like Aretha Franklin, but you can sing her songs. I mean,
We have been told many times that when we try and bring our own style, don't do that. Do it like this, because sometimes you do want to sound like yourself, but at the same time, when you're singing a song like that, there's a certain style that it should really follow on a certain vibe that you must bring with your voice, and he definitely makes sure that we don't stray too far and get too poppy with our songs.
Yeah, it's important that I think you can sometimes be so passionate about what you do, sing out, and yes, you have the passion, but the sound has gone out of the door. So and that's a lot to do with technique and years and years of practice and so on. So I am just there to make sure that we don't try to over-excel in that department.
now, through my years in being in the media, there's one thing I know for sure, even as a non-professional, we have talented vocalists in this country. And what I love about your show is that it's one of the times that not one person who sees or hears the music can doubt it. What's your perspective in the talent pool that we have here and how it's being utilized?
Very difficult. I haven't listened to the pool, as you say, of talent. But what I have heard, I like very much, and I know. I mean, people are singing. People love singing here.
Yeah.
If I went to all the churches and things, perhaps I would be able to find lots of people. But I don't have time for that. I just drop in and do what I have to do, and then have to go again. So if I was here a longer period, I think I would be able to talk more sensibly about that. But I think it is inevitable that in our society we have lots lots of singers out there. I mean, they all love singing, don't they? People, they're always singing.
Have you ever had a moment where someone new came for an audition and you're like, wow?
That moment came ages ago when I first auditioned. You know what I mean? Miss Carballo,
Oh.
Ernestine. She came to sing to me. And she sang in that thing we did when we were
25.
25.
Yeah.
And I was very taken aback by how well she could sing, and without a mic. She has a very noisy voice, but noisy in
Power,
the right
yeah.
way. Power, great
Yeah.
power. Yeah.
Yeah.
That was my first indication that
Belize has talent.
Belize got talent. Yeah.
No, it. All right. Talk about standout moments from last year. What were the buzz performances that you loved as
My
the
Girl.
artist?
I was just gonna say.
Yeah.
My Girl.
Sing
It's the
guys.
Belize boy band,
Exactly.
right? I even posted that. I buried the post. I posted
Yeah.
that one. Yeah.
My Girl definitely stood out because the guys were just like we were doing earlier, trying to get their clips together and deciding on their moves. And we watched them for weeks in that one room, and this was their task. This was their task, and so they were doing that for weeks and weeks and weeks. And when they finally got on stage and did it, we were all just cheering in the background. We couldn't believe you guys did great, and of course the audience loved it. The
Yeah.
audience loved it.
Yeah.
Yes, we decided to put a few more things this time. So we have quite a few My Girls, as it were.
Yeah.
My Girl-like performances. So what are you including in this sequel?
I think because my memory is not what it is perfect for piano playing. I can remember things from way, way, way back when I was 10. But they will fill in the details of that.
I don't know the song.
Oh, some of the songs.
Yeah.
Can I reveal what I would be singing?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, sure. So
Do reveal.
this year,
Ooh, do we need a drum roll?
this year I will be singing two songs. Can't Hurry Love. And I'm very, very excited to perform If Loving You Is Wrong. Yes. Apart from that, we have other songs like
Ticket sales went up just now.
we have other songs like Memories. Denise will be doing that again for us, and we will be having Chanel doing Aretha.
Yes, and this is
Yeah, a
particularly-
little tribute.
Yeah.
And of course, Rajani is doing a
Yeah.
Tina Turner.
She's doing a Tina Turner song, and we have also been working on trying to do justice to that Rolling on a River dance.
No.
Ooh.
No.
That would be the
With the
highlight.
flappy dresses
Well,
too,
one of
I
them.
hope.
Oh yeah.
We have
And they have a
secrets.
costume change this year. Beautiful costumes.
I love the marketing. I think it says it's not the repeat, it's the sequel.
Yes.
So what does that mean?
That's-
Apart from just sounding really cool and letting me know if I went last year,
You
I
gotta
have
come
a
back.
completely different expectation going back.
Finish off what you started.
Come back and bring more people. Yeah.
This is
The individual parts of this boy band
Yeah.
is amazing. Though you have Corey, who is a vocalist on a different level. Trimette, who is probably one of your constants.
Yeah.
But
All
could
of
you-
those guys.
Leon, Burton, and
Justin.
Justin.
Are we going to have individual?
Yes, all
Yes.
people sing their own solos as well.
So
And then
Justin is
there's
going to
backup.
be.
She's
Yes.
singing too,
Yes, you will.
but she
Okay.
did last year.
Yeah. I think only Corey isn't back with us this year.
Corey, okay. But could you tell us what Justin is going to be?
What is Justin?
Can you
Cruising.
tell us that secret?
Ooh.
That's gonna be smashing.
Nice song. Yeah.
That's
Now,
gonna be smashing.
The vocalists are extremely important, but we also know that there's a lot of work that happens with the band. And you
Oh,
said
yeah.
Carlos is taking.
And I have to say, pay total tribute to him and the rest, because everyone is telling me now how tight they sound, how wonderful they
Yeah,
sound, and I
they
can
do.
hear them in the background practicing as well. And they've been doing a good job. So without the band, I mean, nothing works. It's always a teamwork thing, isn't it? You need everybody on form and aiming to do their best, and that's what's happening. We are excited because on Friday is the first time we're going to put the band and the singers together
Wow.
to see what happens. Usually it doesn't happen straight away, but that's why we put it together.
Wow. And, we talk about the shows on a yearly basis, and I just want to ask you, it takes a bit of commitment from you to be able to work from overseas and come here and commit the time to doing so. Why is this an important part of your yearly schedule?
You may well ask. I cannot get it out of my system. And if it wasn't this, it would be something else. I think for very many years now I've been doing things. Well, it started only with sort of master classes, piano stuff, and then that was getting a little bit tiresome after a while, and there were not enough people, and the standards would not have been as high as enough so that I could be of real help, is what I'm saying. So I don't know how that happened. We switched to this idea of doing something. Well, Mass and Blues we did.
And then you did Motown and Soul one as a small section in the show.
Yes.
And then
it just started, and then once I had the girls and men and all singing and things, that's the inspiration of it all, really. If I know that I have singers who can comply.
no crazy request like, Karen, I need a choir with 100 voices. Like, okay,
well,
yeah, like
that was a huge work, and it's unfortunate that people here. I think when I die, maybe 50 years from now, they'll bring it out again and realize how wonderful that work was, even though I say so. And that was a lot of voices, 100 voices we managed to get, or thereabouts.
Yeah, just about.
When you get 100 voices, you see, maybe about 20 or 30 won't be any good. Or they make mistakes.
But they're drowned out.
But yeah, they're drowned out.
That means I can sing.
Yeah.
And there was a very strange thing that actually happened at the thing. I made it a point to say to some of the very, very good ones to make sure that some of the ones who we knew were not singing properly were at the back and that they should come to the front. Now, those are the devious things a person has to do
to get what you want.
So we've seen you select different themes and put the show together, but when do we see another Frankie Reneau original show from start to finish?
Yeah, that's what I'm...
Another 25.
Wait until what is 35?
Don't
You
tell
did
me we'll wait
35.
till 50. Way too
You did 35 a couple of years
I did
ago.
35,
Yeah,
yes.
that was nice.
Yeah.
That was a
And
nice show.
40, maybe. No, I don't want to wait that long. I might die. You never know.
Yeah.
So
once you do a musical.
I'm in a hurry.
A musical.
Yes, I've said that last year, and I've said it the year before too. But that is a much more complicated matter.
We need to have him here much longer.
And I need to work with people who write scripts and something interesting. It's always what to write about. Even when I start writing music, it takes me ages, and then suddenly I hit an idea. And once I start, I just move. But that will be the highlight, I think, if I can get something like that, which can perhaps run like they do a Broadway show. Well, they do for years, but we could manage a week, I think. And if we could take it somewhere. Nothing here is very helpful in that way, because like this show should be able to pick it up and take it to all the districts and let them hear it. Yeah. Why we can't do it is another matter. And it's that, and they complain about not having, not
entertainment.
Exactly.
Yeah. So if you know any rich people, you can tell them that they can offer their services to a great cause.
You piqued my interest.
Is it a space issue? I mean, here's the thing: they're part-time performers.
Yeah, exactly. And that's part of the problem. Yeah.
It's not the music industry here in that sense. That's one of the problems, because I can't go because I have to go to work, and I can't go because they're genuine things, because they lose their job. So we can't have that. So it will have to perhaps be done on the weekend, like a Saturday, and then hopefully.
But
A tour.
as we're looking forward, you piqued my interest to a Broadway show. Is that the next level? Is that what you're
This is
hinting
what
to?
I would like, something big.
He's
You
been
know,
talking about it for a while.
long ago, before your time, and nearly before mine, but I was there. So they had a thing called Boss King. You remember that?
Bob Reneau?
Bob Reynolds, and it was a huge musical, and I was fascinated. I was a little boy looking at him. I was fascinated by what was going on, and we hadn't had anything on that level, but that was a certain level. But something as long as that, a whole show that you could actually.
What was that? A musical?
It was like a musical.
Music, dance, drama. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what we
remember
wanted.
Bob Reneau used to do these shows, But Little Nightmare, all that, yeah.
I'm a bit younger than that. Just a tad
Well,
bit.
I
when
used
you
to be
talk with
about
Dance
Bob Reneau.
Company,
Yes, exactly.
the origins, But that means you require acting skills, dancing skills.
Somebody to write the script.
That's
First of all,
yes.
and
I think the rest of it would follow. I think that would happen, and then I would have to be here quite more often.
Yeah.
But you wouldn't mind that.
No. And Niche always brings me here, so that would be perfect.
See, I'm doing the plug for you.
There you go.
But no, if you see, are you a writer? No?
No,
No.
no, I'm a horrible writer. I'm an excellent audience member, though.
All right. That kind.
Yeah.
Yeah. But what do you do? We see you here. We get the blessings of having you back here, and the gratification that one of us has reached that level. But what do you do over there in the space when you're not here?
I'm teaching, mostly teaching. Teaching until I can hardly bear it sometimes. I think I have one day free on a Sunday. And even then I play in a local church in the morning, which is not far from me, sadly, because then they find me. I can't bang hooky.
Do you get to perform often?
Oh, yeah. Well, not often, not my piano work, not very often.
Okay.
2 or 3 times a year or something like that. But then if I'm to do that properly, I would have to stop teaching because I have to practice a lot to do that on that level.
We need to bring him home full time. Like, okay, Frankie, move back home.
Moving on swiftly.
You notice I gave you all the time, right?
Too much time. No, I'd love to do that in my declining years, perhaps. But right now it wouldn't be
Yeah.
right. I'm not rich. If I was rich, I'd move back perhaps
Not yet.
straight away. No, I would never be rich.
Is it because we don't
Musicians
have
are
as
never
much
rich.
appreciation for classical music in Belize? Is that where you think the void is? That there isn't a growing
It's not so much
interest in
appreciation, but
classical.
not even before appreciation has to be curiosity, and I find that so lacking. Not only in Belize, in lots of societies, but other societies have huge populations, so you will have millions of people who like it. Here we a dribble, is it? So that's sad in a way, and I think something amounts in tropical countries particularly. I think people don't like listening. The idea of sitting and listening calmly is not part of our makeup. We want to move.
Yeah.
And so we hear rather than listen, which demands a bit more focus. And that's something that I had to learn as well. I didn't know about that, but my whole business is all about listening. When I'm playing, my ears are there. And you learn, with playing the piano, there's so many things going on. You have to be objective, like you are listening to me, I have to listen to me. At the same time, I have to give all the passion and the loudness, the softness, whilst I listen. And it's a strange, I think they say musicians have a different kind of brain in a way, because you learn to do several things at one time. Like I've played 3 different tunes at the same time with 2 hands. Yeah. To do that is not very easy. Yeah. And therefore it develops that aspect of you. And so classical music in that sense is very, very, very good. Yeah. And then when you come to like arranging for voices for this, it helps quite a lot too, to be able to have these disciplines as a foundation.
Now, we're proud of you as a Belizean, and so your very nature is the same culture you speak of, which is we want to move and shake and tap our feet. How do you think you moved into the line of classical music?
Through no fault of my own.
You were forced to.
I just started. I was 3 apparently. I can't remember that far back.
I thought you said you remembered longer than shorter term.
Well, but not 3. I can go to 5, I think. I remember 5. I was playing in the Bliss, the old Bliss, giving in Festival of Arts. That's where I started performing. But I started, it was luckily a piano in my house, and I started at 3. And the story was that they took me off the piano every time I tried to get on, because it was valuable furniture. You know what, 3 years old, you just go on the band and make a noise. For some reason, I seemed to be playing a tune. I cannot vouch for it, but that's what they heard. And they said, oh, this boy has got to have lessons, and that's how it started. Yeah. And I have to say, I met people in England some years ago who were actually present at one of these occasions when I was playing, and they went to hear me. So they remembered it. I think that was some time ago I met them. Yeah, and so I don't doubt it, but personally I can only recall at around 5, and I was sent to lessons around that time, just to go and listen and play back. So my ear is very good. Whatever you sing to me, I can play back immediately. Yeah. So that's one of the good things about learning by ear, as they say here. But there's a point when you have to stop that.
Interesting.
And you never thought of venturing into any other form other than classical?
That was what I started out as, because you know when you go to piano lessons,
Yeah.
they teach you classical pieces.
Yeah.
And that's how it started. And then by the time I finished my A levels, I got a scholarship to go to England to play in a school, to study in the Guildhall School of Music. That's how it started. And then, of course, once I got there, that was it. I just took off. I couldn't stop. I didn't want to come back. I wanted to come home a lot. I was dying to come home. When I got back, I missed it so much I wanted to go back again. And it's very extraordinary. Being a musician is not just playing notes, and the idea of music, especially abstract music, music without words. To find an idea, the way I'm talking to you and I say all these words, and you know what I mean at the end of the language of music is like that. It's actually a language. And when you understand it very well, then you can use it more productively. But it's a very, very complicated business. I don't like talking about it because...
And that's why I love pressuring you for more insight. Yeah.
But my main point is that it's not just about playing notes or pushing down keys.
Yeah.
There's much more to it about the psychological side of it, the emotional side.
Yeah.
It makes me what I am to some extent.
Well, studies have shown time and time again that classical music does have an impact on your brain. It's good for you when you're studying and also helps you to concentrate.
And children.
Yeah.
If you see a young child, which I have children, I teach for 5 or 6, sitting there, and how focused they are, it takes you completely away from everything.
Yeah. Yeah. All right, and
And-
back to Motown, right? we're just happy to have you here, Frankie, and I think it's always great to hear your insight on music and performing arts in Belize. But we are looking forward to September 6th and 7th. 2 nights only?
2 nights only.
And how are tickets doing? I think people should probably go out and get
Tickets
them
are
today.
going very well.
Yeah.
Very well, yeah.
Yeah. So it's best, don't wait till last minute.
Don't wait, get your tickets early. Especially, we included a VIP section this year, which is 4 rows in the center of the theater.
Nice.
Those are $50 each.
Nice.
Everything else downstairs is reserved. That's $30, and the upper tier is $20. So
Okay.
they're going fast.
And I mean, we got a little bit of insight as to what we're going to get on stage from Nicole. Nicole, how, I mean, if you were to compare how excited you were last year to this year, which one?
I don't know. I think there's more pressure this year because we did such a good show last year that we need to live up to it. So I've been really hard on myself, practicing at home in my shoes and all that. Yes,
Shoes,
so-
we're
That's
going to
a
be
problem.
paying attention
No,
to
That's a
this
problem.
now.
No. It's nothing high. I just really don't wear shoes at all. So for me, 1 inch is a lot. But yes, I've been putting a lot of pressure on myself to make sure that we can deliver because we want to make sure that we bring that same energy, that same excitement, that
Yeah.
everyone can leave the show feeling that they came to see what they wanted to see.
And where can we get tickets, Karen?
Tickets at the Bliss
Okay.
all day.
Okay.
Yeah.
And get them early. We
Get
keep
them
on
early.
saying that, right?
Yeah.
Well, Frankie, thank you once again for coming in
Thank you for having
and
me.
talking with us and letting us know a little bit about how we got to the show. Timeless Motown Memories, the sequel. All right.
Sequel, yes.
How many vocalists do we have on stage?
11.
12 vocalists.
And a
Yeah.
full band.
And a full band.
All right, we're not only talking about Timeless Motown Memories, the sequel, we get a preview as well, right?
Yes.
That's what's happening?
Yes,
Yes.
will sing.
So we have Denise Castillo, who's going to be singing for us, and Denise will be singing
Denise will be singing at last.
at
That's
last. Oh, ho,
Another
ho.
lady.
What a way to wake us up this morning. Of course, we want to remind you that the show takes place at the Bliss September 6th and 7th. It
That's
starts at
next
8
week.
p.m. There are VIP tickets, general tickets, and reserve tickets. Get them early. They're most likely going to be sold out very soon, especially after this conversation, I believe.
Right, sir.
But we're going to close off this segment with the lovely Denise Castillo doing for us At Last.
my love has come along. My lonely days are over, and life is like a song. Oh yeah, the skies above are blue. My heart is wrapped up in clover. The night I looked at you, I found a dream that I can speak to, a dream that I can call my own. I found a thrill to press my cheek to, a thrill that I have never known. Oh yeah, you smiled, and then despair was cast. Now here we are in heaven, for